Good morning. Welcome back to VW Family Farm. There's a lot going on. It is early. Sun's barely up. And we have already got action out here. A dream is about to come true. So I hope y'all can hear me over the sound of the skid steer, but I got out here this week and I tacked all this ground cover back down. We've decided to leave it. If you're new around here, we are building a farm market. It's been years in the making here at our farm. We raise beef, pork, chicken sometimes, honey. We raise dairy. So we have several things we want to sell of our own products. I also make soap and bread and lotion and tallow balm and growing flowers, growing produce, all the things. So we've wanted for a while to sell our own products, and this is a dream come true. We also hope to offer some local products, and so this is the first step. So this is where it's going to be. You can see this greenhouse. We are right on a pretty busy highway, and I got out here this week. This was a garden at one time. Tacked down the ground cover. Sorry, y'all. It's a construction site now. We've decided to leave that ground cover because it has seen its better days, and it'll act as a barrier between, you know, grass growing and this gravel. And we'll still have to do some maintenance on, you know, grass probably coming up in this, but it had seen its better days as far as ground cover. I kind of worked myself to death last year trying to keep the grass picked out of certain holes and things, and so it was just time to retire it. Seemed like a good thing to do. Pulled up all the drip tape. Right behind me was a stack of like 60 tomato cages. I moved all those one afternoon. I was wore out, but I got it done because I knew this was Ben's day off and he was going to be here and renting this skid steer and spreading this gravel. Excited.
Now that Lane is here, he took over my spot up on the skid steer, smoothing out the gravel. The truck driver that's bringing the gravel, his clutch actually went out and called me and said it's going to be an hour. So while he's doing that and we're waiting on the truck to get back, I'm coming back to put out hay. Let's see if I'm still as good as I used to be. Andrew's the one that's putting out the hay all the time. I think she can pretty much hit the hay bale right on. I'm gonna probably struggle. I guess a little better, but definitely not centered. So not only am I gonna have rock delivered, or having rock delivered for that parking lot, I'm also gonna have some delivered for our farm road. This winter, it's been nasty. After that hard freeze, the ground fell through, and then especially right here where we're trying to get over to the steers. Look at this. I'm gonna have to have some of them big rock brought in there. As you can see, this right here I'm on right now, this is that big B stone, and it holds up really well. I'm just gonna have to extend the end of that road to meet our other road, and then probably bring a little bit right up here because it's nasty. So I moved back on a field that the cows aren't actually on right now, but I'm gonna move them back here. We've been staying off of it because we cut hay on here, and it's still really wet. I guess one thing that we've seen on rotational grazing is your soil gets looser, if that's a good word for it. And that's definitely causing us issues in this nasty, muddy, wet mess. Even the cows' footprints, when they was out here, as you can see, they left their footprints in there. I've come put out hay one time for them while they was back here, and started to leave ruts. Sorry, I was looking at something. Started to leave ruts, and I just definitely didn't want to leave ruts in a hayfield. We're already leaving enough ruts out there in the field where we're grazing. Part of a hay rake. That wouldn't be good on a tire. So anyway, walking up here to get the cows, turn them in here for a little while. Don't look like there's much rain in the forecast for a while. It definitely looks like it could rain right now. But we've got a bunch of hay back here and we need to be feeding to them. There's a couple of deer right there. They're just looking at me. They'll take off. Are y'all not gonna run? I think they're camouflaged. Woo! Mud!
So we are just about done with the gravel. I'm gonna take you guys out there. Kind of wanted to show you my temporary setup. I am in one half of my garage. I've got meat over here. These are the freezers and coolers. There's more behind that curtain that's gonna go in the actual market. They're not plugged up right now, but I've got this cooler full of meat. We've got milk over here, milk that I'm milking, also milk that we're having brought in from a farm that does like low temp pasteurization. It's been a hit. There's strawberry and chocolate of that. It's kind of a glass bottle, bring your bottles, exchange, that type of deal. I am making sourdough bread. I have found like my favorite recipe of all time. I've been making that. Can't seem to keep that in stock. Got some VW Family Farm merch. We got honey, shirts, and then I'm about to make another batch of tallow balm. So if you're interested in that, that's probably gonna go into inventory probably by tomorrow afternoon. Actually, you'll be seeing this on Saturday, so probably a little bit later this afternoon from when you see this. So we are rocking and rolling. I wanna walk out there. I'm gonna go put this sign up at the road, kind of telling people we're open for the afternoon. And I want to kind of show you what it looks like out there now. It is transforming. And I know this video is not very long, but it is because this farm is hopping right now. We have got, Lane is out there on the skid steer. He actually, if you haven't followed us, he is our 20-year-old son. He actually just moved out. He was raised on this farm, homeschooled here, worked here. He's moved out, but he came home to help us today. He's working for us today. Super glad to have him. He is the best farmhand we will ever have. I say that, him and Emily are in a pretty good tie. They are just the two that I feel like I could trust this whole operation with. They can run it better than I can. And they care about it because it's one day gonna be theirs. So that's one thing I've had people ask me, you know, how do you get your kids to work? For one, I would impress upon them that they are working towards the future. What you're doing is you're setting them up for success as well. So something like this, a business venture that we're going into, you know, this could benefit them for years to come. Help them to get a hold of that. Also, just help them to get a hold of the fact that, you know, that's what families do, is work together, help each other, jump in. It may not be necessarily your passion, but if your family's doing it, jump in there and help them. So our driveway had fallen in a bit because if you've been watching, we're in some of the wettest conditions we've literally ever had. It's getting better. It was just after that snowstorm, it got really bad, and then when all that melted, and then we had a bunch of rain. So we went ahead and gravelled the driveway, gravelled this whole area. This is gonna be parking, and the market's gonna go right up there. Getting it ready. Ben is having surgery February 29th, and then the market's being delivered 5 days after that. So it's gonna be crazy. Then we have to try to get a floor in so that then we can move the freezers and coolers in and get power and all the things. So this area you can see is not gravelled. That is where these garden beds are going. You saw us put those together on the last few videos. Got 2 more to put together. Got soil on the way. It's crazy around here, y'all. That's what's going on. I'm gonna hop off here because people could show up any moment. We've got cows moving around. We've got piglets. We are getting bulls out, because if you look at a gestational calendar for cows, if you don't pull your bulls out now, you're going to be having calves in the winter. We don't want that. So there is just one thing after another, but it's good. It's a good busy, it's a good time, and things are good. Life is good. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully can get you some more farm footage, and building this market is just kind of our life for the next little while. So gonna take you guys along for the entire process. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. God bless.